All right, here's an example of maintaining impossible light activity while you're kept under surveillance inside of what would be the private space of the target individual, such as what I documented in Los Angeles, while the Los Angeles Police Department, which represents the state of California and the people of the state. For example, the demons of the Alvarado Gardens apartment complex and speaker companies, they're all going to federal prison. This is impossible light activity. It's illuminating the bottom of the floor. So let me step back so you can see. Zoom in so that you can see. This is impossible light activity that's appearing on the floor. It's a shape. The reason why it's the shape of a square, because it's engineered light that does create my shadow right here. All right, it's kind of dim, but this is impossible light. Yeah, you can see it on the door right here. This is ILA. Engineered light, directed light. This is the intent to maintain the elements monitoring. That is, the terrorist, the sex offender in 55 is intentionally maintaining noise in relevant position. That's criminal activity living at the crime scene. All right. And this is, again, these are the hard breaks for the entity that sought to surround a targeted individual with their demonic system. And so there is no defense. There is no claim of pity because you live at, and there's nowhere else for you to move. The entity doesn't even intend to cease to engage in the pattern of conduct, first of all. But second of all, you do not have a defense or an excuse because you live and you don't have anywhere else to move. And that's the only reason why you engage in the pattern of conduct. You are intentionally stalking with audible activity. The intent to do so in engineered light is P.O.C. They're doing it in the shoes of the state. This light activity, all right, is occurring under what's supposed to be coming through the crack of the blinds. That's impossible light. The entity is stalking by Ontario Airport. Ontario International Airport, that's again criminal conduct that Alan D. Wapner. All right, he is fully aware of. This is impossible light. This is supposedly shaded. And remember, this is moments after I just took video of the fake sun that you saw so low in the sky space. It was so low that I could aim my window out of that patio window right here, and you saw the fake sun. Okay, that's speaking to, again, while the demon possessed are very highly unintelligent, and you can see that low intelligent quotient based on the ongoing obsessive endeavor, which they fail at. You will never be able to prove that the fake sun is the product of or within the natural environment. But this is what the demon possessed do. I'm only giving you what is an explanation regarding what's the highly unintelligent conduct. This is revealing what is the character of Satan. Okay, you have the light source. In other words, as you review that video that I just captured moments ago, you saw the light source, and while it's here, it's not over the Holiday Inn on Palmdale Road, first of all, number one. While it's here, it's nowhere in what is San Diego, California at the Fairfield by Marriott, okay? But also, while it's here, you're looking at it, I was on a first floor apartment. Okay, this is the same property where at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm at the same position capturing all these demons group stalking while the fake sun is over the same exact strip of land and over the same position over the corner of this building over me. Where I walk right here, the fake sun remains over me. Okay, now that's all of that is speaking to what is your, under all circumstances, group stalking by demons. This is a statewide system. The entity is doing so. And while I aim my camera outside of this first floor patio window, you saw the light source that's hunkered down so low that you could see it. That's impossible also. That's not the sun. That's hovered right above an apartment building. There's only two apartments, the first and second floor. These are not tall skyscrapers. The sun is not anywhere in New York, by the way, while it's remaining over Woodside Senior Apartments in Ontario. This is all common sense. And it's also not the sun that's, the fake sun is lower in elevation than the demons stalking in the commercial planes. Every single airline is going to be prosecuted for federal stalking and state surveillance, by the way. They're going to be subject to criminal damages, and you're talking about criminal conduct that is not excluding federal prison. The entities engaging in this, however, you're seeing all that shade that has nothing to do with your understanding impossible light activity. Look at this light back here. Entirely demonic. So I just want you to take a good look at that. That is speaking to the intent. While the Ontario International Airport is speaking to and teaching you the ways in which it's not just criminal, it's not just weird, it's demonic. These are demons that use unheard of methods of trying to terrorize and psychologically torture. That's the key phrase. Stalking an American citizen in a way that they're not so sure, they might even question their own sanity. Oh, that's deliberate. That's by design. Not only are you going to document, and there is no basis to criminally defame, it is a basis, however, a provision of evidence when you're looking at what is concentrated light that you can see clearly on the wall. It's streaming all the way into the depths of the room through closed blinds, a covered patio outside. Under no circumstances is any sunlight or any light at all going to manifest in the way that you're seeing here. This is P.O.C. while the entity is doing so. Ontario International Airport's engaged in criminal presence in the path, which is also shown to be outside of where they're going to be taking off over a senior citizen community 24 hours a day. I'm capturing them group stalking in the same exact manner in the engineered environment at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's so loud that I'm able to stay inside of this hotel, this room, this apartment, and document the times when they're crossing path in commercial planes. This is what they're doing when I'm living in a car, when I'm living outside. And why is the entity stalking a homeless person? Because this demonic system, all right, this system, which is criminal, but it's also spiritually based. These are demons who know you, who recognize you in the spirit. This is what you need to understand. It's a demonic system, and this is exposing what is a highly malicious system of targeting in a manner that the entity sought to engage in, where it could never be proven, if you will. It can never be suspected. Certainly not capable of being identified. This is, again, speaking to the impossible. I want you to pay attention to the previous video. You saw concentrated engineer light appearing down here. You saw the engineer light as I was capturing video, my shadow appearing up here. You heard that demon pacing around. That's a psychopath. She needs to go in a padded room. She will never have any federal housing benefits in order to support her engagement in this sort of sexual violence against American citizens. That's how all terrorists, how all sex offenders are going to be treated, like the threat to the public that they are. Okay, you will not maintain any apartment building amongst a population whom you are group stalking with, nor amongst American citizens like myself who have a right to not be subject to that. And that's why not only is she going to federal prison, but she and the population similarly situated, the people of the state, that criminal record is going to protect the rest of the country from them. Okay, the entity is doing so in an environment that is readily identifiable. It has nothing to do, exactly, you can see it there. It has nothing to do with what you just saw in the shade. That's not sunlight. It's appearing underneath the structure. You're looking at the demonic. It is also not the explanation for engineer light that you saw on the wall inside of this bedroom, behind the mirror, and streaming horizontally inside of that apartment. Okay, I want you to see engineer light appearing. That's not sunlight. You're understanding and recognizing the demonic environment. You are intentionally stalking with noise. You're intentionally stalking in the environment around me where you're group stalking. That's what group stalking is. Demons are stalking with noise, which is amplified. Demons are stalking in the path all around you in that demonic environment, and they're stalking with light. And they're doing so inside of this bedroom, which has nothing to do with, again, your understanding what is the intentional engagement in those criminal elements monitoring. I continuously document Avanath Capital Management, LLC's criminal activity and federal group stalking and monitoring. Avanath represents nothing other than the people of the state who are a bunch of sex offenders and group stalkers, in other words, who are maintaining state surveillance. It is a basis for absolute loss of your entire company, first of all, but I'm going to civilly and criminally prosecute, but it is a basis for the outright removal. If you want to disappear with ILA, the company itself, the corrupt company, shall disappear altogether. That is within what is lawful regarding the prosecution of the state. Avanath is just another corrupt company that's going to be prosecuted for their intentional engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring. You're looking at all the manners of direction or impossible light. This is revealing the demonic, okay? The entity is engaging what is appearing and disappearing in all manner of direction. And all you're doing is paying attention to what is an irreconcilable body of evidence showing what is malicious, that are demons, an entity, that is every police, fire department, every ambulance, for example, American Medical Response, years of evidence of documenting American Medical Response, okay, years and years. They're devoted to stalking. That's all they do. They just do so in a malicious manner. You would never suspect, in other words, that a stalker is driving an ambulance. But you are enlightened and you know better, because you're not ignorant of Satan's devices when you see a stalker readily identified while they're driving an ambulance under the fake sun outside of my hotel room in Monrovia, California, where there's not going to be any sun, over Woodside Senior Apartments at the same time or at any time, because it's not jumping to be over that property all day long and then somehow remaining over Woodside Senior Apartments in Ontario. But you see Falk ambulance crossing path, driving on the street. That's understanding what the population is doing, targeting one person, and engineer lights dragging all across the sidewalk at the intersection of Myrtle and Huntington. That's where you are aware of the fact. Yes, demons are stalking in ambulances in California. Okay, the entity is going to be thoroughly prosecuted for their very thorough system of comprehensive corporate stalking. Okay, it's entirely sick. It's sexually violent. All right, it's entirely malicious, and it is the outright failure of the state of California to murder me and kidnap me. Okay, they engage in kidnapping. Ontario Police, the Sheriff's Department, they're going to be disbanded for that. But they engaged in kidnapping, and it is the provision to the rest of the country so that you know that's exactly what's going on as I'm documenting the pattern of conduct here. Those demons that maintain facilities in California, masquerading as police departments and masquerading as sheriff's departments. They're engaged in psychological torture and inhumane conduct and an environment inside of their facilities, where I was gang stalked inside of the facilities. Remember, gang stalking is about the environment. All right, gang stalking is about the behavior in that environment. They're group stalking inside of their facility, inside of their jails, inside of their hospitals, inside of the mental wards. They're group stalking. All right, it is currently 3:26 p.m. This is P.O.C.